Hey guys, it's the International Guy here, and I am freezing cold. Now, I just pulled into my apartment complex and I figured this would be the perfect time to discuss things you should consider when deciding which university you should attend, particularly the region the university is in. Now, I've been in Oklahoma for 5 years now and I still haven't acclimated to the weather. And there's two main reasons for that. One is that I'm an island kid at heart. Like, regardless wherever I go, it'll always be cold to me. Anything like below 60 I consider cold. And two, Oklahoma weather is very volatile. Like, we get a lot of the cold air from up north and a lot of the warm air from down south. Because we're central in the United States, we get affected by these weathers very easily, unlike more northern states that are more cold throughout the year or warmer states. We get a mixture of both, and so you need to decide if you can handle that, if you want something more consistent or you're okay with more volatile climates. Usually places with more volatile climates are cheaper, but we'll discuss that further into the video. The second thing that you should consider is allergies. And I know that's something that a lot of people don't think about. That's something I didn't think about. I didn't have any allergies until I came to the US. But turns out I'm allergic to 9 different pollen that are all in Oklahoma. Luckily, I've been going to a specialist and he's given me some meds that have alleviated my symptoms. The next thing that you want to consider is the culture and lifestyle of the region that the university is in. In Oklahoma, people are laid back, and for the most part, people are pretty friendly. It's easygoing, it's not congested, it's very spacious, you don't feel cramped. And I appreciated that aspect of Oklahoma. Whereas if you go to a place like Chicago or California, it will be very congested. The dynamics are different. Even the mannerisms could be different. People could be more aggressive. Like for me, when I visited Boston and I spent a semester at Harvard University, when I visited Boston and Cambridge, the people there were a lot more aggressive than compared to here in Oklahoma. Their driving style, how they greeted you, how the communications went. So you want to consider the lifestyle as a major impact. If you are okay with being in the mountains or being far away from civilizations, then maybe a small college is for you. But if you want to interact with a lot of people, you want to see, big skyscrapers, then maybe, Oklahoma may not be the ideal place for you. You need to do some digging and some research to see where you can go. The next thing that you want to consider is the cost of living. University expenses are one thing, but your life will consist of things outside of the university. The cost of rent, the cost of transportation, car insurance, life insurance, dental insurance, health insurance, just insurance in general, the quality of life, what you're able to afford, the market of your field of study, all of that you need to consider when you're moving into your field of study. Luckily, here in Oklahoma City, the technology industry is booming and the infrastructure in general is developing at a pretty fast rate. So it's really good. Like Oklahoma right now, I would say is a decent place for you to start your career. But my university was not in Oklahoma City. It was in Ada, about 2 hours away, which made it really difficult to find internships because we were in the middle of nowhere. So be mindful of that if you decide to live in the middle of nowhere, is that your opportunities and what you can do outside of campus will be limited. Another thing to consider is the availability of stores and restaurants. In my college town, we had less than 40 stores and food joints, and most of them were closed by 9 p.m. If you wanted to find a spot to chill outside of the university on the weekend, you would have to drive and leave the city. So make sure the city of your university has activities for you to do outside of campus during after hours, if you like those kind of things. I know for me it was really inconvenient not being able to find a store outside of McDonald's or Taco Bell late at night for me to go grab some grub. But for others, some people don't care and that's not really a factor. But those are some things that you do need to consider. So if you compare living in a city and living in urban areas are usually cheaper, less congested, more laid back. but their opportunities are limited. Whereas you get more opportunities, there's more lifestyle, there's more activities to do with a more city lifestyle, but the cost of living is also usually higher, along with everything else. Now, next is crime. Crime happens all over the country, but it happens more frequently in some areas than others. So you need to research how safe that city is if you look at it on a national scale, because yes, there may be an average to say that crime happen at this rate, but it may happen more frequently in others. On some campuses, certain group of people are more likely to be targeted than others, and so you need to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to be vulnerable to predators. But on another note, you want to consider diversity, not only in your university, but within the city. Ideally, you'd want to go somewhere where your group has some form of representation in the population. I'm all for venturing out and being accustomed. I'm all for venturing out and trying new experiences and culture, but at the same time, you also want some inclusion. You also want some form of support, because homesickness is real. You do get homesick, you do miss your people, you do miss the food, and so it's nice that you may have a place within the city that you can go to and you get that nostalgic feel, you get that home feel within your city. For me, I would have to drive 2 to 3 hours to the next city or to Dallas before I can get some quality Caribbean food, because I love Caribbean food. I love every food, but you know, that's my place, that's my home, and so that's me, because I mean, that's where my heart is. But that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll be notified of the latest content. If you have any particular topics in mind you'd like for me to discuss, please comment them down below and I'll make sure to check them out. Thanks, guys.